As we drove past Giuseppe's house, I could see the entire family watching from the window. I realized they must assume I'd done something sinister. The look on their faces confirmed my fears. Giuseppe's wife and daughter were both shaking their heads as if to say they'd always known that sooner or later someone like me was bound to get into trouble. This was the death knell for my hopes of any friendly relationship with them. We barreled out onto the main road and accelerated to 90 miles an hour. I was holding on for dear life, scared to death, and tried to explain to the driver that I really didn't think we had to go so fast. After all, I wasn't the murderer. The officers just replied that the DA had told them to be quick. I couldn't understand why, but it didn't matter because all I could think about was my stomach. I've always suffered from really bad car sickness, and in Milan I even felt sick on the tram. I rolled down the window, hoping the fresh air would help, but the noise of the siren was intolerable. The road to Padua is quite straight, so I managed to keep my sickness under control, but as soon as we reached the city, the road began to snake all over the place. If it weren't for the fact that I hadn't eaten since the day before, I'm sure I would have improved the situation further by barfing all over the police car. We stopped in front of the district attorney's office with the umpteenth screech of tires. I managed to get out of the car under my own power, not needing to look in the mirror to realize how pale I must have been. I felt so ill that I swore to myself that I would never commit a crime, just for the simple reason that I never wanted to go through that barbaric torture again. The two officers virtually carried me into the elevator, which took us to the third and top floor. The old elevator was slow as a snail, and the door opened onto a green linoleum corridor with about 10 doors off it. The two officers marched me to a door with a plaque bearing the DA's name and knocked. I must confess that I was quite pleased at the prospect of seeing her again. The officer who had driven the car opened the door and put his head in to tell her I was there. I stepped forward, but bumped into the officer who was stepping back out, followed by the DA. The DA told me that we were going to Salvione's house and would be able to talk on the way. So we got back into the elevator, and when we got outside, I realized with dismay that we were taking the police car again. It goes without saying that we set off with a skid of tires and the siren blaring. I didn't want to show my weakness in front of the DA, so I tried to look like a man who is used to living under pressure, hoping she wouldn't notice how ill I felt.
"What's the matter, Ranieri? Don't you feel well? You're the same color as the linoleum in my office."
Right, that worked. No, I just get car sick.
"Hold on, Ranieri, it won't take more than 15 minutes.
I bet. At this speed, it's a miracle we don't take off, I blurted out.
"I'm sorry we had to summon you like this, but there is some news. Unfortunately."
Unfortunately?
This morning I asked a police psychologist to go and inform Mrs. Salvione about her husband's death. However, she didn't answer the intercom or her cell phone, so the psychologist asked the landlord to open the apartment door, and she found Mrs. Salvione dead.
Dead?
"No, Patty? What do you mean dead?"
Patty was murdered too? I asked, bewildered.
"Yes. From what the psychologist described, we think she was hit over the head with a golf club."
I exclaimed, "Christ, what the fuck is going on? Poor Patty, I can't believe this. Patty, Massimo, they were such nice people."
"We still don't know the motive for either of the murders, so I'm afraid I can't help you. Perhaps you can help us, though."
"How?"
"Before being murdered, Salvione's wife tried